When we saw Miss Liberty, I can't tell you the feeling that we had. We were so happy, and we started to sing. In America, life is golden. In America, it's never dark.
And I looked at the Statue of Liberty. If I could reach, I would kiss her. It's really something to behold when you cross the ocean and see it all of a sudden, you know?
I guess we didn't have to tell each other that this was it, the gateway to America.
In America, living is golden, and that's what I'm longing to be, my dear.
When they'd sail into New York Harbor, they would have seen the Statue of Liberty. All the stories and all the pictures show them rushing to the side of the boat where they could see the statue. And this was symbolic to them. It meant to them that they were free of tyranny, they were free of hunger, they were free to establish themselves with their own abilities, that they weren't caught in a society that was structured, where you were in a certain class and you had to stay there. We were asked by President Reagan in 1982 to restore the statue. And why did it need to get done? Well, there were a number of reasons, but mostly it was deteriorating. I mean, it wasn't going to fall down. But since about 1916, when someone decided to put windows in the torch, which were not there originally, it began to deteriorate and leak. The statue had stood for almost 100 years. It was about to celebrate its 100th anniversary in 1986. In the salt and spray and wind and hurricane of New York Harbor. So everybody would have needed a little bit of restoration at that point in their lives. Gustav Eiffel had designed the inner body workings of the statue, like your rib cage. Only there were 2,100 ribs or armature bars, and all of them were deteriorating. So each had to come out. We could only take out 4 at a time and be discarded, and stainless steel armature bars replaced the ones that were damaged. But come 1986, July 4th, there she was, bright, clean, new. Well, not new, it was the same statue, but ready to go on for another 100 years.
We preserved artifacts from the restoration of the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island during the centennial back in the mid-'80s. We've been storing and warehousing and curating these artifacts for a very long time, and they're stored just a little outside Franklin, Tennessee. In 1984, we signed an exclusive agreement with the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation. And then under direction of the National Park Service, we started removing and preserving the artifacts from the centennial restorations of both the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Gustav Eiffel designed this armature system, and these were the bars that were replaced. Each one of these bars, they're no two alike. They would take one of the bars off, form a new one out of stainless steel, and use it as a template, replace it. And I think that's one of the reasons that the restoration on the statue took a little bit longer, was forming those bars. Basically, it's all the shape of the statue. So if it's a fold in the gown or whatever it is, and that's what you see there. Your copper sources are these copper saddles that came from the interior, again, of the Statue of Liberty. But what would happen is these copper saddles would wrap around these armature bars and would be attached to the skin on the statue. And then this is the combination of the copper from Liberty-Ellis melted down. These things that we never utilized, we just warehoused them for years and years, and you think about it, 30 years of it. I always knew there was a greater purpose, something greater that we could do. So that liberty enlightening the world is such a big, enormous task to take on. However, you stop and you think about it, I mean, that statue is moving forward. He did intend for that statue to be a moving thing, a perpetual thing. So we help get her off that pedestal and get out to the masses and touch people's lives.
When Liberty first came, it was a lackluster arrival. What happened, though, is there was a great immigration wave that came. And those immigrants saw her, and she became their symbol. She became a symbol of freedom to create the life that you want. Let's start at her feet. She's striding forward with her right foot. She's striding forward and breaking chains, and she's breaking them effortlessly. She's flowing forward because she isn't looking down at her feet. She's not looking at the thing that's oppressing her. She's not looking at the chain. She's looking to the heavens. She's looking above the horizon. She holds the book, which is wisdom. So she carries knowledge, but she's not looking at knowledge either. She's not worried about it, but she has it to help her. The aureole of her head is the light coming from her. She is enlightened. That is the symbol of the enlightened and freed mind. She is enlightenment. She is liberty because she is free. And she moves without fear or question because she knows that the light is within her. So she carries light to illuminate. Imagine being born from the hope of 1,000 hearts, and then 10,000, and then 50,000. And then the world, because see, the world heard that. When those hearts made her real, the world could see her. She became a symbol, and they called her hope.
The biggest honor of my life is to take her message and make it literally, physically attached to each and every one of us. And so I took her flame that represents the light, liberty enlightening the world. That's who she is. That is her message. She holds the torch to light our path.